Joining me back on the show is Kurt Holobaugh. He'll be fighting in Madison Square Garden at UFC 230 on November 3rd versus Shane Burgos. What's going on, Kurt?
Hey man, what's happening?
None much, man. So currently you are out in California at Team Alpha Male. Is it your first time there, and how much are you spending out there at that camp?
Yeah, this is my first time out here at Team Alpha Male. I've been out here for probably about a week now. Still got another week left that I'm gonna be out here. All the guys are very welcoming. I've been getting some training in with all the top-notch guys out here. Training's been great. It's my first time out at Alpha Male, and I'm definitely looking forward to coming back for the next training camp also.
Who are you particularly working with out there?
Well, just in the grappling and stuff like tonight, I grapple with Faber, I grapple with Darren Elkins, just guys like that, guys that's been in the UFC, guys that's at an extremely high level, grappling with a lot of other guys too. Um, Everybody out there is super nice, super humble, and all of them's monsters, man.
Yeah, you just mentioned some legit competitors. I also heard that Jason Knight is out there, and I'm
Yeah,
thinking Brendan Davis also is with you out there.
yeah. So actually, how this even came about is, I hit Brandon Davis up because they don't live far from me. We're all in the UFC. We all like to get with each other and get some training in whenever we can. And I know Brandon, he's always traveling around, man. And I know he's always going out to the PI, the Performance Institution. And I hit him up and I asked him if he was going to be out there because I was wanting to try to make a trip. And I don't want to go by myself because I don't have anybody really to train with. I don't know anybody out there. So I figured if he was going to be out there, I can go train with him. And, we can hit Vegas and get some training sessions in. And he said he was going to be out at Alpha Male. Well, that's around the dates I was going to be out in California also. So I'm like, well, shit, man. Let's try to link up and see if I can get out of Alpha Male. He asked Faber if I can come out. Faber said yeah. And, that's where I've been. And getting training in with those guys also.
So you guys are kind of taking the Southern connection out to Alpha Male then.
Yeah, for sure, man. And it's been great. Alpha Male's been very welcoming to having all of us. And everybody's been getting some really good work.
Before you were mentioning before we started the interview that you were out at CSA earlier in your camp. How much did you spend out there?
A couple classes, a couple weeks ago, I was out here in California, and I was wanting to get out to Alpha Male, but didn't really have the chance. My managers had a couple ties. Sucker Punch, they have a few guys out at CSA, and they told me get out there and get some work in. So, I headed out there and I got some work in with some really good guys. One guy, Gaston, I can't remember his last name. It starts with a B. I just can't say it. He just fought Bellator a couple weeks ago. I put some work in with him, got some good rounds in with him. Really good stand-up guy. So, I try to soak up a lot of knowledge from that guy and a few other people out there that was really good and great sparring for me. And everybody out there was welcoming also.
You've been training at different gyms. How important is it for you to get different looks now, since you are a veteran?
I think it's always important to get a little bit different looks. I love my home training. I love the style that everybody is over there. I got some really good guys that aren't on the map yet, but these guys they push me hard, and I love training back at home. But this is something that I really needed to do. I really needed to get out and get with some more high level guys. And really, what I need to do, I need to get beat up a little bit. And being out at Alpha Male and rolling with Faber and Elkins, these guys are trying to choke the hell out of me every chance they can. So that's been really great. It's been good just to go with guys that's been at that level for so long. And, I think it's definitely helping.
Let's go back to your last fight against Hyon Barcelos. You're in a dog fight. You got caught. Assessing your performance, now since you have some time to think about it, what mistakes do you think, the key mistakes you made against the Brazilian?
I just think a lot of my timing was off. There's no excuses. I had one of the best camps of my life. I don't think I put as much hard work into that camp than I could have. But everything was rolling so smooth. Even when I got the call, my weight was probably the lowest that it's ever been. So everything was just on point for that fight. I didn't think anything can go wrong. But I just didn't feel like my timing was really there. I went back and I've watched the fight a couple times and I've tried to assess a lot of stuff. I didn't look bad, but there were still a lot of things that I was doing wrong. And that allowed me to get caught. And not to mention, I gave up a few takedowns. I should have been more aware of that. And so I just went back to the drawing boards and tried to assess a lot of things and tried to fix them. And hopefully, they'll show in the next fight.
You mentioned that you felt like you didn't train hard enough. Now going into this fight, how do you prevent yourself from overtraining?
Um, I just got to watch what I'm doing. Right now, I've been doing a lot of two-a-days. Most of Alpha Male's practices are at 9 o'clock in the morning. So, and then they got more pro practices in the evening. So, I've just been trying to do the two-a-days and trying to recover right when I go home. Make sure I get the right meals in my body to stay fueled, the right nutrition in my body, and especially the right nutrition to keep my weight cut going right. So I just got to be careful. I don't think I'm overtraining right now. I think I feel good. Today was, I think, one of my best training days I had out here, and I'll tone it down probably a little bit when I get back home next week. But so far, I feel fine and everything's going good.
Your diet, do you take care of that all on your own, or do you have someone helping you out?
The majority of the time I do take care of it on my own. I've been doing this for so long. I kind of know my body, but at this stage, I'm really wanting some professional help. So I actually reached out to my manager, Sucker Punch, this week because I did use George Lockhart in my Contender Series fight. They had me some meal plans and stuff like that. And I love the setup that he had for me. It was basically an app that just had listed everything I can have, all of my meals. I can have substitute, and it has different substitutions for whatever I needed for that day. So I hit him up, and they should be shooting that over here to me soon. And just so I know I'm putting the right things in my body, that way I'm feeling good. I'm already feeling good, and I always feel like I feel pretty good. But I want to put it in the professionals' hands.
What is the mindset right now? Are you going into this fight with the mentality that the deck is stacked against you?
Yeah, for sure, man. I'm going into this fight like, I'm the most scared as I've ever been to fight. I'm the most nervous I've ever been. This is a huge card, a huge event. I'm coming off of a loss, so I'm hungry. I need this. This has everything to do with my future, my life, and I have to get this win. So, definitely going in, as Nate Diaz would say, to kill or be killed.
Your upcoming opponent, Shane Burgos, he's another tough, scrappy guy. What are your thoughts on his skill set?
The dude's good. Can't take nothing away from the guy. He just dropped his first professional fight in his last fight, and he kind of dropped it kind of how I dropped mine. We both got hit, then hit with a big uppercut. So we're both looking to make a bounce back, and I know he's going to be hungry too. So man, that's what's going to make this fight so intriguing. That's what's going to make this fight so good. We're both going to be hungry as hell. We both want the same thing, and we're both saying that it's do or die, kill or be killed. And, but one of us got to win, one of us got to lose. That's the way this game plays. And, I don't plan on that being me.
Yeah, he's coming off his first career loss, and he was knocked out in the process. And this is the first time in his career that he's ever lost, amateur and professional. A lot of fighters, they never recover. Some fighters, they just go into a downward spiral after their first loss. You've seen it happen to some fighters on the biggest stage. Do you think that this will play a factor in the fight?
You never know, because, when I took my first loss to Pat Healy, man, I even said to myself, I got to make somebody pay for this. I was hungry. I was desperate for a win, and I still wind up dropping the next fight. So you never know how things play out, man. Sometimes you get maybe too over aggressive, you get too hungry, and it forces you to make a mistake. And I made a big mistake in my fight against Steven Siler, which caused that um, second career loss in a row for me. So you never know how these things are going to play out. So you never know what that's going to do to him.
Burgos, he's a New Yorker. You'll be entering his city, going to battle. Do you think there is such a thing as home court or home field advantage in MMA like other sports?
Um, well, I mainly normally I'll block the crowd out, so that doesn't really play a factor for me. But on the plus side, man, I can guarantee the crowd's going to go crazy because I already know what type of fight this is going to be. But I got a lot of family coming, like more family than I've ever had coming. One of my team, June Kao, we have a bunch of gyms in New York. I hear they're all buying tickets. They're all going to be there. So don't be surprised if I got a big home base too.
You are going to be able to put Madison Square Garden on your resume. How hyped are you for this opportunity?
It's like a dream come true, man. This is something only you can dream about. And, this fight means so much to me. I have an 8-year-old son. I have a 10-year-old daughter. And I have a 5-year-old daughter. Well, none of them have ever been to one of my fights live. They always watch my fights on TV. But I've chosen to bring my 8-year-old son to this fight. So this will be his first time ever seeing his daddy fight live. No matter how the fight goes, he's going to be able to say, I went to Madison Square Garden and I watched my daddy fight. So, in one of the biggest UFC events ever. So it's going to be great no matter what, man. All the motivation's there for me. All the motivation's in my corner. I just got to show up, be ready. I know I will, and do my thing.
Are you planning on going out there a little earlier than normal? Since you do have that affiliate out there, those affiliates?
No, they're gonna bring me out there Tuesday. I think it's the 30th. But with that being said, I got all these gyms down there. We already got a bunch of stuff planned to hit these gyms. Not necessarily saying I'm going out there to spar or roll very hard, but there's a lot of guys out there that can share a lot of knowledge with me, and I can always soak knowledge up. So we definitely have gyms to go out there, train, hit pads, weight cut, do whatever we got to do. So I think that always helps. Every time that I go to a city that we have gyms in, that always plays out great for me.
What type of fight? Are you expecting a wild 3-round war against Burgos?
If you've ever seen Burgos fight or myself fight, that's the fight you have to expect. Man, I have to expect a 3-round war. I think we're two fast guys on the feet. We both hit hard. We both got crisp combinations. And that's where I see this fight being contested the most. He hasn't done a lot of wrestling in the UFC. He hasn't done a lot of groundwork in the UFC, and neither have I. When we both go out to fight, we both go out to fight in kickboxing matches. So, with that being said, it is a mixed martial arts match, so don't ever be surprised what may happen. But definitely a 3-round war, man, and you never know how this thing's going to play out. It's going to be a good fight and a fan favorite for sure.
Yeah, I have no doubt that this fight, if you look at the card, it is one of the top candidates for fight of the night just because, like you just mentioned, both you guys go out there and put on a show. November 3rd, UFC 230, Madison Square Garden, New York City. Kurt, big opportunity. Thanks for your time, man.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me. Always a pleasure.